just want to have a little bit of a chat with you about why you might not be getting referrals. So many people, after having visited a working BNI and seeing the I have section and the amount of referrals that get passed back and forth, they have this impression that if they just join a group and they turn up and be present, then the referrals will start to stream in. However, some members become a little jaded over time when they've been there for many months and the referrals just aren't there. And then a lot of people often leave because of this. But there might be a reason for that. Someone might be engaging with the members in a way that doesn't really encourage referrals and doesn't really give the members confidence that they can pass those referrals to you. So I'm just going to talk about a few things that people do which may not be coming across the best in their weekly presentations and also in their featured presentation. So firstly, with the weekly presentation, you're only presenting for 45 to 60 seconds, or in today's case, it's 30 seconds. And often people will read from a script or off their phone, which can be quite off-putting and quite distracting for the people that are listening to you. So it's better to practice your presentation rather than reading it. And a referral is very short and can be memorized after just 1 or 2 reads through your sheet of paper. Also, if you can't speak passionately about your business for 45 to 60 seconds, then you're not really giving people the confidence that you know your business well enough that they can actually refer that business over to you. An exception to this, of course, is for new members. So when you first join the BNI process, it can be a little bit daunting, and these presentations, especially in front of a group of relative strangers when there's 30 odd, it can be very nerve-wracking, and you'll be forgiven for reading off your piece of paper for the first couple of times. Another mistake is that people can be a little bit too vague. They request broad groups, broad categories of people, anyone or everyone, and just any business owner in the room. Being much more targeted and a specific business, a specific person with a specific problem will bring that thing back up to mind when someone's talking to their friends and family or their clients, and your name will come there for the referral. Also try to be very specific about the actual product or the service that you're selling. So this will also just reiterate that in people's minds. When someone actually mentions that word, they'll say, oh, I actually know someone who does this. And having a personal scenario of something that's happened or a potential scenario that can pop up will also help that to stay in people's minds. The final thing people do with the weekly presentations is that they give them up when they're doing their featured presentation. So if they're doing their 10 minutes, when their name pops up with the 30 seconds or the 60 seconds, they'll say, oh, I won't talk too much. I've got my 10 minutes today. Really try to monopolize that opportunity to speak when you have your chance to speak in the meeting, and try and get the most out of the meeting process. When it comes to your featured presentation, you have 10 minutes, and this 10 minutes is to talk about your businesses, what services you provide, and really highlight a particular service if you need to, and hone in on those details to expand and give people a really good idea of what it is that service actually is. That 10 minutes flies by really quickly, and some people will spend maybe 5 minutes talking about their personal history, their schooling, their high school and their uni, their pets and their second cousins, nieces, and photos of everyone in the family. This is great for about 1 or 2 minutes max. And also, if you've been a member of the group for 6 to 12 months, then you won't even need that time really, because most of the people in the group will already know those things from the one-to-ones that you've been having with them. Sometimes by then it's multiple one-to-ones and everyone in the room knows that. So really try and use that time to drive the referrals and advertise your business. Failing to make a emotional connection can also be another pitfall for people. Now, I've just talked about your personal history. An emotional connection doesn't have to be your personal life. This is more people getting to know you, like you, and trust you in a business sense. So real stories about how you've practically helped your clients and practically helped other people's clients is the best way to achieve this, and actual examples of how you've done this. Staring at your slides is another pitfall. So people will fall asleep. If you're just putting up your slides and reading straight from the slides, this doesn't demonstrate that you know your stuff, but it also is just boring for everyone. So you use your slides as bullet points and maybe some images and some graphs or anything that you can use that really highlights your business, but just use them as a reference point, and all of your notes should be in your head, or if you need a reference point off the slides, then have them off the slides. But yeah, the PowerPoints shouldn't be your entire presentation. Opening up for Q&A is another one. So this one can be tempting for people, especially if they perhaps don't have enough information to fill the full 10-minute presentation. But what this can actually do is it can take things off track, and it can also make you repeat things that you've already said if perhaps someone wasn't listening for a minute or so of your presentation. And it can be quite frustrating for everyone else in the room who just wants to get back on track and hear the rest of what you have to say, which you might not get to because of a long-winded answer to a question or multiple questions on the same thing that you've already covered. The final thing is, don't see this one often, but people saying that they haven't had time to prepare, sorry, or I'll get to this next time. Typically you have about 6 weeks to prepare for the presentation. So this is a really bad look for everyone in the group. Saying this makes you look very unreliable and very unorganized. And if you can't prepare for a 10-minute presentation over a 6-week period, then it's really not giving people the confidence that they can refer to you after that. So take these examples on board and keep them in mind next time you're preparing for one of your presentations, and really make the most of the membership using these tools to get people to get to know you.